Welcome to the CoSM Full Moon Ceremony. Tonight's program is the 244th consecutive full moon that we've hosted since January 2003, when we held the first gathering in our Brooklyn loft with the CoSM Prayer Committee. About 15 of us came together to pray for the intentions of each person present and for us all to envision building the Chapel of Sacred Mirrors, a visionary art sanctuary. To honor the unique moment of this night, together with you all, we consider the number 244 to represent this particular place and time in our shared journey. Reflecting on the personal symbolic meaning of tonight's full moon, we add together the numbers 2 plus 4 plus 4, adding up to the number 10, which then adds up to the number 1. Number 1 represents a new beginning. Consider preparing for a new chapter in your life. Changes you may have been watching for might present themselves, even relative to tonight's program. The theme tonight is sacred geometry. Alex, tell us about the significance of celebrating the full moon at CoSM and share your thoughts about sacred geometry.
Thank you, Allison. Happy full moon. The full moon is our luminous friend in the starry heavens, a high tide of the spirit. The oceans and agricultural seasons are influenced by the gravitational pull of the lunar cycle. Female reproductive system is evidence of the moon's essential force on humans and all creatures. For thousands of years, in many cultures, the importance of the moon has drawn together communities to honor and celebrate the interconnectedness of our planetary experience of witnessing the full moon. Spiritually and symbolically, the full moon is actually a reflecting surface, mirroring the greater light of the sun, just as each of us is a sacred mirror, reflecting the greater light of God. At CoSM, each month, we choose a theme to consider the divine reality surrounding us. When the mind seems filled with chaos, the subject of sacred geometry reminds us of the proportion, rhythm, and harmony woven through the web of life. Every living plant and creature in nature unfolds in a harmonic unity that truly baffles the imagination when we take time to reflect. In these summer days at CoSM, when Allison and I take walks in the woods, we stop to gaze at wildflowers, and we're spellbound by the beauty of the recurring patterns, examining the regularity of clusters in the petals, each natural form having its own encoded numerical system. Each week, as we journey through the season, new, dazzling, colorful blossoms appear, similar to an artist creating a painting or sculpture, beginning with a seed of inspiration, and then growing that vision purposefully. If the right conditions prevail, an artwork can bloom in full richness, opening to wonder and offer a stunning vision. We had the good fortune of studying with one of the world's greatest sacred geometric teachers, Keith Critchlow, an architect, artist, and author who tirelessly shared his knowledge, inspiring his students to see the underlying structural principles in sacred spaces and throughout nature. Keith taught us that by only using a compass and straight edge, we could create patterns that revealed a new understanding of the science of the soul. Keith wrote the definitive text on Islamic pattern making, providing a key to the infinite connectivity apparent in the natural world. Keith's last book, The Hidden Geometry of Flowers, analyzed his exquisite photographs of dozens of petal shapes with meticulous drawings and praised the glorious wonder of our fragile planet. Keith began each class with this wonderful prayer. Guided by truth, we create beauty to serve the good. Let's count the blessings embedded in some basic numbers and shapes. First, consider the zero. For the artist, zero is symbolized by the empty canvas or blank page. Many wisdom traditions point out that the highest states of consciousness cannot be seen or represented. They're characterized by boundless emptiness, a stainless ground of being. All creation unfolds within emptiness, an inseparable primordial awareness. Pythagoras taught that oneness is the supreme being. A circle is the geometry of wholeness and totality of the cosmos. A circle is equidistant from the center to its edge. God is a circle whose circumference is boundless and whose center is everywhere. A circle in three-dimensional space is a sphere. Plato declared the sphere to be the most perfect shape, symbolizing the soul's essence. This explains why we connect so strongly with the full moon. 2 represents relationship, partnership, and polarity. The dualism of two opposing forces like dark and light can obscure the oneness out of which we all emerge. The Vesica Pisces is the shape revealed when we spin a second circle over circle number 1. This is the shape of the divine feminine portal and gives birth to all the other numbers. 3 is the number of family, a triad of higher power. A newborn love between two parents is the gift of existence. The principle of 3 underlies our thinking about time, past, present, future, birth, life, death. Trinity is found in the Hindu gods of Brahma, the creator, Vishnu, the preserver, and Shiva, the destroyer. For Christians, the Trinity is Father, Son, and Holy Ghost. The triangle and pyramid, with its base on the earth, points toward heaven, signifying the grounded connectedness of humanity to spirit. 4 is the number of matter, the builder shape in our gridded world. 4 orients us on the ground, the 4 directions, north, south, east, and west, and the 4 elements, fire, air, earth, and water. The solstices and equinoxes quarter the year. Most animals walk on 4 legs. Analyzing iridium atoms with X-ray microscopy, we find lattices of infinite squares. The sturdiness of the cube is embraced by contemporary minimalists and by ancient temple builders. The 5-sided figure is the starry pentagram, each line revealing the golden ratio of life. The divine proportion of 1 to 1.618 found in the pentagram occurs in the spiral shape of snail shells and the chambered nautilus, displaying the genius of creation's unfolding, even found in the branches of swirling galaxies. 5 symbolizes the human body, 2 legs, 2 hands, and a head. Golden ratio calipers are one of my favorite tools, unlocking the mysteries of anatomical proportion throughout nature and the human body. The proportion of our fingers are an example of the golden section. 6 doubles the family shape of the triad, expanding it to the hive, representing community, evoking the intelligence and sweetness of the bee in their honeycomb creations. Nature loves 6. Insects crawl on 6 legs, and snowflakes are always an individually designed hexagon. Hexagons tile together perfectly, which can expand spatially to the hexagonally close-packed lattice, integral to the structure of crystals. 7 is considered a heavenly number, the angelic number. having 2 legs, 2 arms, 2 wings, and a head. A mystic number, 7, was a design principle built into the apse of Chartres Cathedral. Sacred geometers who shaped this building were inspired by mosques in the Holy Land. In yoga systems of subtle energy, there are 7 chakras, each opening like lotuses ascending the spine. 7 days of creation, 7 days in the week. We measure our life in 7s. Ancient Egyptian and Greek artists and architects wove sacred geometry into all temple spaces and sculpture. Michelangelo was inspired by the Neoplatonic idealist tradition and embraced the essential significance of the golden ratio. In one of my favorite Michelangelo drawings, called The Dream, a figure seated on a box holding masks of the divine comedy of existence is surrounded by small scenes of daily life and protectively holds a sphere. He gazes up at an angel, trumpeting a blast into his third eye at the point of the golden ratio. In the dream of life, we're always at the perfect point to awaken to a higher reality. Another of my favorite artists is Allyson Grey. Early in her career, she discovered the compositional beauty of the nested square design. She calls the pattern order and expanded it into a field in her signature work, Jewel Net of Indra, a diptych symbolizing the mystical experience of transcendental light we experienced together on a psychedelic journey decades ago. Her unique depictions of the divine matrix comprise a magical body of highly detailed drawings and spectral oil masterpieces that I've been privileged to witness in their unfolding evolution through 47 years sharing a studio together. Soon, when Entheon opens, everyone will be able to appreciate these stunning original works in her exhibition and incorporated throughout the sanctuary. CoSM builders are working every day to make Entheon ready to be granted a certificate of occupancy, which will allow us to open with the approval of the town. We're so excited to share with you the group show of visionary artists for the All One Gallery, now in preparation. Thank you to our beloved team at CoSM and the heartful community that is supporting this offering.
Hey there, fellow visionaries. What's good? Welcome to CoSM TV tonight. Full moon ceremonies at CoSM honor the mystical tides with art, poetry, and wisdom from CoSM founders Alex and Allison, as well as community artists. It's Sacred Geometry Month in July. First up in the monthly series are the monks from the Tashi Lunpo Monastery in India. Take joy in watching them construct and then destroy their medicine mandala out of sand.
Tibetan medicine and healing has always been crucial to the Buddhist path. So creating a medicine mandala is one way of healing the community, but also healing the environment. The word mandala is actually a Sanskrit term meaning container of essence. It is that sacred circle embodying some sacred essence within. Originally, they would have used powdered stones, powdered gems, things like lapis, malachite, and so on. Today, they use crushed marble made into sand. Now, the colours are very important because they symbolise different attributes of the deities. But in this particular one that we have here, it is all about the medicine Buddha and healing. And what they create is a heavenly palace all around him. Most of the monks have been in monasteries since the age of about 7. They would have learnt the actual art of painting a mandala in the first instance, but to actually make sand mandala takes about 5 years to train, because it's a very precise art, tapping the sand out of these copper funnels into these intricate geometric designs. The prayers that the monks perform are to do with invoking the presence of the medicine Buddha and inviting the healing power to enter the center of the mandala. And then throughout, when they're actually performing, creating the mandala, they are meditating on that same thought. And for those people who are watching, every grain of sand will give one a blessing. This form of Buddhism is about developing your mind's potential, or a way of transforming the mind. So the person who is using this in meditation would imagine themselves as the medicine Buddha in the center, and they would try and break down the barriers of their normal deluded life into the pure enlightened mind of the Buddha. A very important Buddhist belief is the impermanence. They don't believe that death is the end. It's just a passing phase. It's our essence that carries on, but also that you shouldn't be attached to anything. So the idea of the destruction of the sand mandala is really putting it to bed, if you like. We return to the elements, so too is the sand mandala return to the elements.
Mandalas often refer to secret tantric doctrine and highlight Buddhist ideals like ending suffering, achieving enlightenment, and understanding reality through the wisdom of emptiness. Thank you to our friends from Wellcome Collection for this special feature. Introducing Pacific Domes, an award-winning family company. For over the past 40 years, Pacific Domes has been a pioneer in the eco-living movement by employing Buckminster Fuller's architectural ideas on geometric domes. Let's check out their instructional video.
Everything in nature is born from one of the Platonic solids. Named after the ancient Greek philosopher Plato, Platonic solids are geometric shapes where the same number of sides meet at each vertex with the same length and angle to create equal forces. They are the only stable structures found in nature. The 5 Platonic solids that meet these criteria are the tetrahedron, which is associated with the element of fire, the cube, which is earth, the octahedron, which is air, the dodecahedron, which is the cosmos, and lastly, and most complex, is the icosahedron, a 20-sided spherical shape which is associated with the element of water. Buckminster Fuller won the gold medal for designing the geodesic dome, the strongest structure known to man, from the American Institute of Architects. When he designed the dome, he extrapolated the math from the icosahedron. He truncated the icosahedron to make a dome. By dividing each side of each triangle by 2, he created a 2-frequency dome. Dividing it by 3 creates a 3-frequency dome, and so on. In a geodesic dome, each pentagon represents the original hub of the main face of the icosahedron. You can determine the frequency of any dome by counting the number of struts between the centers of each pentagon. For 2-frequency and higher, the other hubs are hexagons. The higher the frequency, the more curved and spherical the dome is. Frequency is commonly abbreviated with the letter V, so a 2-frequency dome is called 2V, 3-frequency is 3V, and so forth. For even frequency domes, 2, 4, 6, etc., we can utilize the natural equator to form a perfect hemisphere, as shown in blue. Our 16-foot dome is a 2-frequency hemisphere. The 16 tall is a 2-frequency hemisphere with an added row for height. The natural hemisphere of an odd frequency dome, shown in red, lands not on the true equator, but at either 3/8 or 5/8 as shown here. Our 20-foot and 24-foot domes are 3-frequency 5/8 spheres. Here at Pacific Domes, we opt for 5/8 to maximize the dome's height. Our 30-foot dome is a 4-frequency hemisphere. The 36-foot dome is a 5-frequency 5/8 sphere. Our 44 through 90-foot domes are 6-frequency hemispheres. And lastly, our 120-foot is an 8-frequency hemisphere. Thanks for listening. Hope this all made sense, and please subscribe to continue learning more about Pacific Domes.
From eco-friendly living spaces to greenhouses to amphitheaters to educational institutions, the sky's the limit for the creative team at Pacific Domes. Thank you for the great work. Compiling the divine geometry of all things, up next are 3 videos in 1. After Skool's Timelapse and Andy Gilmore's Plotter Art Timelapse round out our first 2 clips, and Simon Wieland's 3D animation follows. Enjoy the journey. I'll see you on the other side. After Skool, Andy Gilmore and Simon Wieland for the eye candy. My friends, it's time to hand the microphone back to Allyson Grey. Enjoy her poetry about sacred geometry.
Sacred geometry ascribes symbolic spiritual meaning, proportions and shapes that confirm God's intervening. If God's universe was made with a geometric plan, sacred geometry was imbued before life first began. Where long ago Plato wrote, "God continually geometrizes," modern mathematician Carl Gauss counters, "God arithmetizes." Associated with structure from a universal mind, all nature reflects patterns exquisitely designed. Circle, triangle, pentagram, hexagon, and square shapes order our chaotic life in the beauty of earth landscapes. From pineapples and pine cones, seashells to sunflowers, pyramids and the Parthenon, shapes have wondrous powers. In proportions of the body, cherished music and fine art, one number rules, appearing as a mathematical counterpart. The human face and chambered nautilus share a common frequence, mathematically known in plants and creatures as the Fibonacci sequence. The number 1.618 is also known as phi, the greater and lesser dividing line, a sweet spot for the eye. Michelangelo used golden ratio in painting the Sistine Chapel. Some claim golden ratio was applied in the logo designed for Apple. When architectural structures have religious intention, sacred G is built in, suggesting sacramental intervention. Architecture of churches, mosques, altars, and temples use patterns that embed ancient shape fundamentals. Complex patterns of Islamic art in tiles and hand-drawn scrolls, woven into spiritually touched graven image-free Muslim souls. The Alhambra, an architectural vision built in Granada, Spain, is a sacred geometric achievement of 100 years to attain. Principles of sacred geometry that appear in the human form were combined in Da Vinci's Vitruvian Man, revealing an ideal norm. Cathedrals built through Europe started over 1,000 years in the past. Sacred geometry's mathematical architecture was surely meant to last. Chartres Cathedral, built outside of Paris over 800 years ago, features Christ emerging of Vesica Pisces, plus the famous rose window. Medieval European cathedrals intended to evoke fractalized awe astonish a pilgrim's attention into momentary real-world withdrawal. Eastern Tantrism observes the mandala, a sacred diagram, a Hindu, Buddhist, and Shinto tool, a meditation core program. In the Torah, Hebrew Bible, the Kabbalah interprets the soul, a mystical guide of Judaism shedding light on the divine whole. Kabbalah's fundamental archetype, the tree of life, can inspire perception of our highest attainment as an upward-reaching fire. Symbolic philosophy, the tree of life in Kabbalah, is best known for revealing the human path from base thought toward the divinity zone. The patterns of sacred geometry appear in universal reality, reminding us of omnipresent, omniscient spirituality. In every culture, sacred G sets principles of visual organization so intelligence can be recognized throughout all of God's creation. Each month, we are grateful to friends from all over the world who send blessings and declarations to be part of the full moon ceremony. Thank you so much for tuning in and sharing with us a blessing for a loved one, a friend, for your community, or for the world. You are invited to send your blessing, your declaration and intention for the coming month, or a memorial for a loved one to be included in the program. Alexa collects and assembles blessings and declarations on this scroll for us to read, and then we send them all, along with our prayers, to the heaven in flames. Here's the scroll, and we'll read you a few.
Callum from Scotland sends this blessing. I bless everyone who's on a journey they don't understand. You will find peace and become whole.
Dante from Mexico sends a declaration. I see hope, creativity, love, and salvation with God's eyes for myself and others.
Greshma from India sends this blessing. May your vibrations be raised so your love can flow without rejection, suppression, or manipulation.
Olga from Brazil sends a declaration. I will let go of everything that doesn't serve me. I will open my heart and soul to the universe to receive the blessings that are in store for me. I will share my light with others and find peace and love in every moment. Thank you, everyone. Here's the scroll.
All right.
Now.
And so we will take these and send them up to the heavens, and may all these blessings and declarations be fulfilled.
Some who are here with us may be grieving the loss of a family member or friend. We send our deep condolences to all of those who are in mourning. We acknowledge the sacred space of sorrow and compassion that we carry for all those suffering on our planet. Remembering the brevity of life, we appreciate the beauty of every precious day.
Almighty Spirit, we remember the souls of beloved ones who have passed on. Cherishing them in our heart, they remain close. To evoke their memory, recall their names as we reflect together for a moment in silent prayer, sending a wave of love from our being to theirs.
May their memory be a blessing. Tonight, we may be thinking of loved ones, maybe even ourselves, who might be suffering distress in body or mind. Every CoSM full moon, we take a few moments to turn inside and hold in our heart those who might benefit from a healing prayer. To strengthen this blessing, recall the name of your loved one as we pray.
Great Spirit, thank you for blessing us with this day and for our precious body and soul. We feel the light of Spirit shining in our hearts, and as we breathe, a glow expands to surround us like a luminous sphere.
The brightness in our hearts magnifies as we join together in a gleaming web with countless others around the world, a luminous net of beings. From the superabundance of our combined energy field, we envision rays of healing light surrounding and protecting us, our friends and family.
May the light shine on all who need healing. May Spirit renew each soul with creative power to rebuild stronger and weave peace and harmony across the earth. May the water, air, fire, and earth be purified, and the web of life be strong and resilient.
Amen.
Hurting times are teaching opportunities. Believe in your goodness. The most important thing is that you try. A happy full moon to you and your loved ones. If you were moved by tonight's show, please share, like, comment on, and subscribe to our YouTube channel to help spread the word. To stay current, follow us on social media and subscribe to our newsletter. Learn more about CoSM's mission when you visit our website. Join us on Zoom for Members Art Church. Every new moon, members are invited to make art together. For monthly reflection, a notebook and artistic supplies are useful. The theme for August is community, and in the spirit of community, CoSM members are cordially invited to a special on-site event on August 13th. More information to come. Join today at cosm.org/membership. As always, CoSM Shop offers some incredible fine art prints, screen-printed apparel, posters, and other visionary gifts. Check out shop.cosm.org after the program to see what's new and exciting. Proceeds help the completion of Entheon, Sanctuary of Visionary Art. A final blessing from Alex and Allison will round out the full moon ceremony. This is Alexis Batty signing off. Catch you later.
Dedication to love. From the core of our hearts, we dedicate ourselves to the complete and full expression of love in all our activities and in all our relationships.
Love is the soul's medicine, a refuge in our hearts, protecting us from utter despair. Finding compassion in the eyes of the beloved and the stranger gives us the courage to endure.
May love sensitize us with care and wisdom. May love help heal the sickness and wounds of life. May love enable us to forgive and accept ourselves.
May love enable us to forgive and accept each other. May love help us overcome our cruelty and bitterness, our greed and jealousy, our ignorance and delusion.
May love rule our hearts and minds, directing us to reach out, doing our best to benefit others, to heal suffering, to give gifts, to create beauty in the infinite network that is our world.
A heart of loving kindness pours creative grace into the world to alleviate pain and mend the heart net. To the healing art of love, we dedicate ourselves.
And may any merit generated by this gathering be offered to the benefit and liberation of all beings. Happy full moon!